There's a piece of paper sliding through a dealer service window right now. Someone is staring at a number that does not make sense. Not because their car was wrecked, not because the engine blew, because a warning light came on, because a rock cracked the windshield, because the battery died in a parking lot, and now the car will not start properly, and the dealer is the only shop in town that can fix it. That number on the paper is not an accident. It is not inflation. It is not a labor shortage. After more than 20 years of turning wrenches, I am telling you that number exists because automakers spent the last decade engineering a system specifically designed to make sure it does. That system works on your vehicle just fine. The repair pipeline is broken on purpose, broken toward profit, and broken in three very specific ways that I will walk you through today. Every mechanic I know under 50 is quietly shopping for trucks and sport utility vehicles made before 2018 for their own families, not beaters. Clean, low-mileage examples of vehicles they know they can still put a scan tool on without paying a subscription fee to the manufacturer just to read their own codes. That is not a coincidence. That is a professional opinion expressed with the checkbook. And the single worst case I have seen come through my network in the last year involved a customer who was handed a repair estimate for $13,000 for a vehicle that hit a pothole. Not a crash, a pothole. We're going to talk about that one. Let's get into it. The first mechanism is the diagnostic lockout. I want to tell you about a customer I had last spring. She is a nurse in her early 30s, and she bought a 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. A warning light came on. She stopped at AutoZone on the way home to have the code pulled, but they could not read it. The scanner connected, but the car blocked it. She brought the vehicle to my shop. My full system scanner could see the powertrain codes, but the moment I tried to command anything on the body control side, whether clearing a fault, checking live data, or running a component test, the car locked me out entirely. She had a Stellantis security gateway module. It is standard equipment on every FCA vehicle since 2018. Every Jeep, every Ram, every Dodge, and every Chrysler built in the last 7 years has one. To get full diagnostic access on that vehicle, my shop had to pay Stellantis a $50 per year subscription fee just to read her Jeep. I referred her to the dealer. It was one oxygen sensor, a $182 part, and 2 hours of labor. The dealer charged her $647 because they were the only shop in the county running the full WiTech diagnostic stack, and they knew it. Here is what nobody tells you about how deep this goes across the industry. Stellantis is not the only one doing this. They are just the most aggressive about blocking even basic code clearing from aftermarket tools. General Motors requires a $45 per VIN online authorization to flash any module on a 2020 or newer truck or SUV, every BCM, every ECM, every TCM. BMW's full diagnostic and programming system runs independent shops more than $10,000 per year. Mercedes-Benz X-Entry, their dealer diagnostic package, costs more than $35,000 over 4 years when you add the flash license renewal and service information access on top. A $30 Bluetooth OBD reader is not going to touch any of this. Even a $4,500 professional scan tool delivers maybe 75% of what a dealer computer can do, and that gap is exactly where the expensive repairs live. The industry group representing every major automaker, the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, spent $7.83 million lobbying Congress in 2025 to fight the Federal Repair Act, a bipartisan bill that would require automakers to open that access. Voters in Massachusetts and Maine passed right to repair laws by landslide margins, 75% and 84%, and automakers immediately sued both states to block enforcement. The money is not going toward fighting a safety risk. The money is going toward protecting a business model. More than 84% of independent shops say data access is their top problem right now. More than half send up to 5 cars a month back to the dealer because they cannot finish the job. That nurse's $647 bill for a $182 part, that is where those 5 cars are going. But if you think locking you out of your own car's computer is as bad as it gets, what they did with the parts themselves is worse. About 8 months ago, a customer came in his mid-40s. He had bought a 2021 Tesla Model 3 secondhand. It was a minor collision. Someone backed into him in a parking lot. The body shop sourced a salvage-yard door module for $150. It was physically identical to the original. It plugged right in. But Tesla refused to authorize programming it for his vehicle identification number. It was not because the part was damaged. It was because it was not a Tesla authorized part flowing through a Tesla authorized channel. He waited 11 weeks. Tesla charged him $3,400 for a module that had cost $150 at a salvage yard. The original part is sitting in a bin at the body shop right now, fully functional, worthless. Here is what nobody tells you about how far parts pairing actually goes. On a Tesla, the battery pack, the main computer, the autopilot hardware, the full self-driving computer, and most body control modules are all locked to a single VIN at the factory. A salvage part cannot be reused in another vehicle without Tesla authorization, and Tesla does not give that authorization to independent shops. There is a documented case of a Cybertruck owner who hit a pothole, not a crash, and received a repair estimate for $34,013. The majority of that number was VIN-locked parts that had to come from Tesla directly. Tesla is the extreme version, but they are not alone. General Motors' Global B architecture, which covers every 2020 and newer Silverado, Sierra, Suburban, Tahoe, Yukon, and Escalade, encrypts the body control module and engine control modules so deeply that a salvage yard part cannot be reprogrammed to a different vehicle without specialist tools that clone the module at the chip level. BMW has required battery registration since 2002. Install a new battery without coding it to the car, and the alternator will charge it wrong. And BMW engines only accept BMW-branded alternators because aftermarket units cannot communicate over the BSD data bus to the engine management computer. It is not a compatibility issue, it is a permission issue. The John Deere right to repair class action settled for $99 million in 2026. Farmers had sued over the exact same model. Parts and diagnostics were locked to dealer networks. Independent shops were cut out. Repair costs multiplied. The auto industry has been watching that case very closely. There are people in automotive boardrooms right now treating it as a roadmap for how long they can hold the line. Buy it for whatever it costs. Own it on paper. But you are renting the right to fix it. But what I just described hits you only if you drive certain brands or certain configurations. What I'm going to tell you now hits almost every car sold in America after 2019. Every car with a camera, a radar, or a sensor anywhere on the outside of the vehicle. I had a contractor in his mid-50s drive a 2022 F-150 into the shop after a job site rock cracked his windshield. He had called 3 glass shops first. Every one of them quoted between $1,200 and $1,450. He kept asking why. It was just a windshield. I walked him around to the inside of the cab and pointed to the camera mount sitting 3 inches behind the rear view mirror. That camera reads lane markings and feeds the pre-collision assist system. Pull the glass, move that camera 3 millimeters off its factory position, and the lane keeping and collision avoidance systems are operating on a miscalibrated baseline. Before the truck leaves the shop, that camera has to be recalibrated against a precision target at a specific distance in a level, climate-controlled bay. The calibration alone runs $600 to $900. The windshield is almost a footnote. Here's what nobody tells you about how fast this changed. In 2016, about 25% of new vehicles required ADAS recalibration after a windshield replacement. By 2023, that number was 89%. But windshields are just the most visible trigger. Any bumper removal, front or rear, can disturb a radar sensor and require recalibration. Any wheel alignment can require a steering angle sensor reset. On certain vehicles, disconnecting the 12-volt battery triggers a required camera relearn procedure that needs a scan tool to complete. AAA studied minor front and rear collisions on ADAS-equipped vehicles and found an average of $3,000 in additional repair costs compared to identical non-ADAS vehicles. The insurance industry's own data confirms it. ADAS components now represent 37.6% of total collision repair costs. The average calibration charge added to a claim runs $550. For newer vehicles, average repair severity is up 27% between 2019 and 2024. Low-damage vehicles that would have been fixed 5 years ago are being totaled today because the sensor replacement and recalibration cost pushes them over the threshold. To do this work properly, an independent shop needs an ADAS calibration frame. That runs $25,000 to $70,000, depending on configuration. A modern alignment system with ADAS capability runs $40,000 to $60,000. Add OEM-specific target boards, a dedicated level bay with controlled lighting, and annual software subscriptions across multiple manufacturers. You are past $200,000 before you touch a single car. Most independent shops cannot make that math work, so those repairs go to the dealer, every time. If this is making you angry, hit subscribe. I have more coming on the business model behind every repair bill they hand you. So there it is. 3 mechanisms, all engineered, all working together. The Diagnostic lockout, a subscription wall built inside your own car's computer that charges your mechanic $50 a year just to read your Jeep's codes. The parts pairing trap, components that function perfectly but are not permitted to function in your vehicle without manufacturer authorization. And the ADAS recalibration tax, a $300 windshield that now costs $1,450 because of a camera 3 inches behind the rear view mirror and a $70,000 calibration frame that most shops cannot afford. Next time a dealer service advisor tells you your vehicle requires dealer-level diagnostics, you now know exactly what that phrase means, exactly who engineered it, and exactly who benefits from it. Every time you hand over your keys. I did a video a while back about a homeowner who was handed a $4,200 HVAC quote for a repair that turned out to be an $18 contactor relay on Amazon. Same mechanism, different industry, manufactured complexity, routing money toward authorized service channels and away from the person who actually owns the equipment. That video is right here, like if it helped. Subscribe for more straight talk. I will keep giving you the truth. Dealerships will not. Drive safe, take care of your vehicles, and they will take care of you. Take it or leave it. I will see you in the next one.